to sound negative, and I do get a sense of meh still across the city after the Texans 4-1 start. It is hard to envision the Texans beating the Chiefs. It's hard to envision any team in the league beating the Chiefs, but I just want people to at least acknowledge this is a year where it is possible, even with the Chiefs looking like they did last night. Patrick Mahomes has his worst career numbers this year.
And we thought last year was going to be the outlier when they were his worst ever last season. And now they're worse this year. You never know what's going to happen. It definitely feels like they're going to acquire a wide receiver at some point. So like maybe that changes it. But then again, you see like what last night, it's the magic of Kansas City. As you mentioned, Juju Smith-Schuster. He was irrelevant. For the
Mr.
last
TikTok.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a nobody in the NFL for the last 2-3 years since he went to New England. And then now he's back in Kansas City. He's dropping 7 catches last night. It does feel, it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? It's not necessarily the Texans' fault, but it does feel like we're just back into what the Rockets just went through a little bit with the Warriors, where you just have this team that is so good. It's just challenging to envision a scenario in which you beat them.
I'm not even going that far, though. We haven't seen them play them. But I look at what they did to the Saints last night, where finally they had a dominant win for the first time all year. And I know that's what people are looking for. And it's funny. I mean, had they won by multiple scores against the Bills on Sunday, I think a lot more people would be feeling it. But put a tweet out last night, and I got a lot of crazy responses. This tweet essentially said, hey, there's a chance they're tied with the Chiefs at the end of tonight. What's up with the collective meh? They just beat the Bills, who had won 9 of 11 going into that game. Shout out. Sean McDermott was probably pretty proud about that. What do you I mean, what do you want? What more do you want?
I don't know what else they want, Paul, because they should be
I'm not telling you
thrilled.
to be excited. I'm not telling you to have a battle red pants tent, and be walking around needing to tuck it in your waistband. I'm not asking for that. I'm not. I don't need you to bend the knee or anything like that. But everyone being mad, I don't get it. This is different than 2012 because you had Matt Schaub under center. This is different than 2018 because Bill O'Brien, all-time bad vibes guy. Same thing with the 2 wins in 2019. So I know I'm talking a lot about what I discussed yesterday with you, Joe. I just feel it's strange that people are like,
No, the more I've thought about it, because it's just been interesting to think about it and see the reaction. And I saw your tweet, and I'm kind of going through it again to see the replies. And it's not just like our station listener thing. You see a lot of the expectations are not being met to what the fans had. I think really what happened is that the fans all got a little far ahead of ourselves in the offseason with hype for this team. And then now the fans are having a hard time reconciling with what was in their brain versus what they see on the field. And what they see on the field should be a 4-1 football team. What they really see, it seems like, is an offense that's struggling at times, that's not having success in the second half. And they're focusing on all the negative aspects instead of the positive things that are on the Texans, because there are still so many positive things that are happening with this teams. It just starts with the 4-1 record. But I think it's just the hype versus what they're seeing. And like they're having a hard time, maybe it is grieving a little bit with the hype, but they're just having a hard time figuring it out.
It's crazy, though. What were they supposed to do? Go 10-0 in 5 fucking weeks? What were they supposed to do? Sorry for cussing, but I needed to make that point. What are they supposed to do?
I know.
They've won 4 or 5. They got smoked by the Vikings. But what are they supposed to do to live up to the hype? They're 4-1. There's only 4 teams in the NFL at the top. It's the Chiefs and Vikings who are 5-0. It's you and the Commanders. That's it. Every other team in the league has at least 2 losses. Every other team. And again, I'm not asking for you to bend the knee or say they're the best team ever. I'm not. I just don't get how everyone's so indifferent, how everyone's so meh. CJ Stroud's clearly one of the best quarterbacks in the game. If you can't see it, you're effing blind. I do not, for the life of me, get it. And it is riling me up. It's just, it's not good enough for you? This city has never seen good NFL football, ever. Not once. Not once. Oh, Pulp, 1979, 1980. I wasn't alive. Doesn't count. You have never seen good football. What are you asking for? God, it's crazy.
It's also something where you look around the league and there's not like there's teams that are absolutely like demolishing teams every time they get on the field with them. Like the Chiefs, the team that played last night. This was the first good game that they played all season.
It's a 2-touchdown win over Derek Carr.
It's the first game that you're not like, wow, Chiefs really got out of that one. That was a tight one. It's like the Texans don't seem that far off. It's just I think it's just the NFL this year is that no team looks good. Team.
I mean, the best team on offense this year is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they have one win.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens look like they're a really good football team, except their defense is ass.
Yeah, they like except that they're like one play away from losing that game to the Bengals.
Yeah, the NFL is like it just seems like this year is really starting to kind of come to the middle a little bit. We're like everyone's kind of in the same. Like you have the Panthers at the bottom and a couple other teams, but everyone else is kind of in the same gray area. And for the regular season, it's going to play out that way. We're not going to see a team probably win 13, 14 games this year. I don't even believe in the Vikings are going to do that still. They're 5-0.
You guys have seen The Dark Knight Rises, right?
Of course.
Is there anybody in the NFL that would be able to give a better answer than this guy gives to Bane?
You stay here. I'm in charge.
Do you feel in charge?
Think about it. What NFL team can say they feel in charge? The Chiefs can after last night, but for the first time all year, they can really say that. And to what you guys were saying, there's a lot of teams that have problems. Sure, the Texans have a lot that they need to clean up. They have been very sloppy. And I'm sorry to be Mr. Bobo, Battle Red Pants Tent, Deep Steel Blue Balls, whatever the hell you want. I'm sorry to be this guy, shaking the pom-poms today, but things are wide open and they are 4-1. And there's a lot of season left for them to clean these things up. I am just annoyed that this sports town does this so often with the Texans. 9-game winning streak in 2018. Beat the Chiefs and Patriots in 2019. They beat the defending Super Bowl champions. They beat the eventual Super Bowl champions. And obviously the playoff loss to the Chiefs sucked. I get that. But like nothing's good enough for you. Well, because people are ridiculous.
What I don't really understand, I think what I guess I don't understand is the lack of anger at times too. Like it is like there's like an apathetic feel where it's like it's the same old Texans, and it's just I don't know,
but it's not. They're winning.
I know it's not. No, I know it's not. Like, and you have CJ Stroud as your quarterback. You can't be the same old Texans when CJ Stroud is your quarterback. Same old Texans applies to Matt Schaub and Ryan Fitzpatrick and TJ Yates and all these other quarterbacks that have run through this franchise. Deshaun Watson, like this, it's different. Look what CJ Stroud's doing right now. Every time the Texans have a negative first and second down, it feels like he's saving the day because he's a superstar.
It's 3rd and 14, and you think to yourself,
yeah. I mean, they live in 3rd and 7.
Someone tweeted at me. This is like Gary Kubiak. They used to run draws in 3rd and 14. Now they convert them regularly. It's kind of crazy. I mean, they set themselves up in these horrible situations, and Stroud is still able to bail them out. And sure, he had a couple of ugly mistakes at the end of Sunday's game, but I'm not asking you to get the parade float ready to plan the whole thing out. I'm just saying, isn't this fun? I'm asking a question. Is this fun? Is it fun to be 4-1? Is it fun? State that has known so much football success. I'll even bring it to college football. Who's the best college football program in the last 10 years? TCU? Come on.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, it's not good enough for us. Like, get out of here. Get out of here.
It is fun because it should be fun. And it is.
It is fun.
It's fun. They're playing
football. Is fun.
Football, fun.
Who would have thought?
That's because Texas.
They're only scoring 26 points a game.
But there's enough people doing that, and I want to shake them and yell at them.
I think people would be more excited if all the games went exactly the same way. You just add 20 points to both teams' final score.
I 100% agree with that.
If you just,
It could be 10 points.
if you just, instead of, what was like the Bears game? It was
19 to 13.
19 to 13.
If they went 29 to 23, I think we feel so much different.
If
Now, to be fair, if you're going to do this, that means you lost 44 to 14 to the Vikings.
I will
say,
even add that
we're
in.
added 10 points on each side.
Yeah, I'll even add that in. But yeah, I think so much of it is like the Ravens. You feel good about the Ravens because they've since they went 0-2, they've won 3 straight. Even the 3 that they won, it's just like, whoa, they're really scraping by against the Cowboys. They almost blew a giant lead. They did blow a giant lead against the Raiders. They almost don't blow a lead, but they are in an absolute Big 12 gunfight in overtime with the Cincinnati Bengals. And that is the team that you're like is probably playing the best in the AFC, if it's not the Texans.
And by the way, you're about to play the Patriots, who suck. And on top of that, the Jets, who just fired the coach today. And they didn't even tell him. They just escorted him out. He didn't even get to talk to the players. 2 sinking ships the next 2 weeks. There's a very good chance you will, at the very least, be 5-2. Because they haven't covered the spread.
At worst,
you're winning at least one of these next 2.
You'll split them at worst.
But I'm letting these people get me down with the vibes thing. Someone texted in, you keep acting like every fan out there is like that. I'm not. No, there's a few. And these people, I want to slap them. And then you can slap me back, so it won't be assault. I'm just saying, mutual combat slap.
Mutual combat.
Okay? Wait, I know it's legal here. I'll ask you. Can I slap you?
May I slap you, sir?
Can I slap you like you're Johnny Fontaine in The Godfather? You act like I'm what's the matter with you? Anyway, I'm riled up. The Chiefs are definitely the best team in the NFL.